What's up, man? I'm coming with this video. I did something like this about a year or two ago. I made a video about culture in America because I just keep hearing a lot of people referring to black culture in America. That I hear people say, "Well, we have black culture in America," and they don't even understand or articulate what that culture is. And some people do not understand the difference between color and culture. And only in America do darker skinned people or black people, which is a corporate name. Black, black is not a culture. It's just not. It's not a culture. Um, when you have a African that comes from Africa, and there's many different cultures in Africa. You got you don't they do not recognize themselves by color. They recognize themselves by culture because they have a real culture to lean on. See, that's the difference between black Americans and Africans that come from a real culture. They don't say, "Well, I'm black." They will say, "Well, I'm from Ghana. I'm from Kenya, or I'm Nigerian, or I'm from the Congo." They don't say, "Well, I'm black," because they understand they have a culture, and they have a culture based on the teachings they have. Because your culture is only sustained by the generations, upon generations. So they instill that culture in their kids, and their kids speak the same language as the parents. Now, what I mean by same language is they do what the parents did to sustain the culture. Their kids are taught what their parents were taught by their parents, by their parents, by their parents. And that's how you sustain a culture. You don't sustain a culture if you don't teach your kids the same thing that are taught in a real culture, and it goes down from generation to generation. In America, they say, "Well, we have a culture. We have rap, we have R&B, we have, we dance, we sing." See, that's like having a house without foundation. Like that's not the foundation of a culture. A culture is this: if you go from house to house, like let's just say a Jewish population, so a Jewish population, or in America community. You go from house to house, they all teaching their kids basically the same principles, and rules and laws of how they expect their kids to behave in their within their culture. You don't have that in black homes in America. You don't have that sustained behavior and taught and teachings of house to house to house, to form a community of people that are speaking the same language. And that's what we have to get away. I mean, look, it's cool to have entertainment, within your culture. That's fine. But that would not sustain you, especially in a corporate culture, which we live in America. We live in a corporate culture that's based on success, based on wealth, based on the money system, the banking system. And we don't own none of that. We don't have ownership of banking systems and how the money is being distributed. That's why we're continuously asking. We're asking for this. We're asking for that. We're asking for this. If you had a sustained culture, you wouldn't ask for this, ask for that, ask for this. You know what I'm saying? Your culture will be strong enough to assist those who need assistance to overcome their weaknesses or their shortcomings. But we don't have that in America because we're continuously asking for this, asking for that. And I just want to just point out, and there's nothing wrong with pointing it out, that we don't have a sustained culture. Stop stop with the that we have hip hop and all that. And that's not really ours anymore because everyone dives into hip hop, and it morphed and it changed into something else. Because when you go listen to Curtis Blow and look how the whole aura was around when hip hop, first came into Providence in like what, in the 70s, like 75, 76, 77, 78, 79. And Curtis Blow was really the big hip hop artist that was able to have a major record label. You can see how hip hop was then to how it is now. So when you say that hip hop and singing and people will point to the food, which is not really our so-called food, because that's the food of the South. You know what I'm saying? That's not even our food. I mean, when they say soul food, when you go really look at it and you really look at the history of the soul food, that's not even really our food per se. But that's another story for another day. You can go look that up. People need to start doing research, because we no longer have the excuse of not having done research. And then that's another thing. It's history. We don't even understand our history, because to understand history, you have to understand your culture. You would have to understand your seed. Your seed is your father. Like, what is your father? Whatever your father is, that's what you are, because he carries the seed. The father carries the seed. The mother houses the seed and allows the seed to grow. It's like planting the seed into soil. You have the seed and you have the soil. You know what I'm saying? The soil can change, but the seed doesn't change. The seed is a seed. So you have to understand what your father is, and that's what you are. And understanding what your father is understanding what bloodline you come from and potential culture that you come from. But in America, we have been stripped of our culture, and then largely because we don't want to do the legwork to understand where we come from. And now that we have all this information, this is the age of information, so we can go and look up, your grandmother's grandmother, or your father's father. Mainly your father's father's father, because like I said, they the ones that carry the seed. So to have a real sustained culture, we have to build. If you want to live in America, because like I said, this is a corporate destination. America is a corporate destination. America is the corporate capital of the world. This is a corporate destination. So if you want to survive here, we have to generate wealth. We have a lot of rich people, but we don't have any wealthy people. The difference between wealth and rich is wealth you can pass on from generation to generation to generation to generation to generation. You know what I'm saying? You can be rich 1 year, and then in 3, 4, 5, 6 years, you can be broke. A wealthy person doesn't go broke. So we have to understand this, and a lot of it is self worship that us as black people in America, we all like to be individual. Like, I have this, I got this, I have this, instead of coming together to build generational wealth for the next generation and then the next generation. Like, you may not be able to, people have to understand, you may not be able to benefit from the wealth. You may be the person that's just setting the foundation for the next generation, then the next generation, then the next generation. See, the problem with, I see a lot of times with black people is we want to benefit from everything, and you cannot benefit from everything. You know what I'm saying? You may have to be the person that sets the table. You know what I'm saying? They understand, okay, I'm a table setter for the next generation. So I just wanted people to know the difference between color and culture, because you have to stop identifying yourself with color, just a color. Like, then you're disrespecting your bloodline when you just identify yourself just with color, like a color. Like, do research, understand your family tree. Try to go back as far as you can. There's a lot of records that have been destroyed. I understand that. But try to go back as far as you can to see where you come from. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to just see yourself as just a color. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, to me it's we have to be able to move forward with big steps instead of taking little steps all the time. These little bitty steps. We could take bigger steps if we take ownership of understanding that it is a difference between culture and color, and that difference make a lot of difference as far as how you're going to be able to move forward. So just understand, man, that it's more than culture. It's more to culture than just the entertainment part of the culture. Like in America, we're reduced to the entertainment. Just understand this. Just look at that. Just look at that for a moment. We're reduced to the entertainment factor, but we don't have any substance of anything else. We don't have any other substance of wealth, of community, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. We don't have none of that. We just have the entertainment factor, and everybody leaning on that's the culture. Like that's the biggest part of the culture. Like people look at that like that's the biggest. That is the culture. That's all that matters is the singing, the dancing, you know, the hip hop, the rap. That's the whole culture. And to me, it seemed like people are accepting the rap game as the dominant part of the culture. And listen, rap music, I never really was big on rap music. You know, I listened to a couple people, you know what I'm saying? When I was younger, you know what I'm saying, a teenager running out here. And but if you understand the denigration that rap music brings to the culture, and it highlights the wrong things to me that's not sustainable. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Curtis Blow was a different artist than NWA. the NWA vibe. That vibe was a different vibe than the NWA vibe. Go look at the two, and you'll understand what I'm saying. But let me know what y'all think, man. I'm out.